Welcome to Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. I'm your host, Rae Lashea. Today's guest is going to be Audate from the Audate International Training. You're listening to Five Fingers of Funk, a song called Rise, and that is definitely what our guest has done. Please welcome Audate. Hi, nice to see you.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I don't know if it's my internet or yours, but it's coming in a little choppy.
Okay, hopefully
I don't know
if I hear you just fine, so I'm hoping mine works itself out.
Okay, now it's better.
Okay, excellent. So, welcome to Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're a busy man. And so let's just get right into it. If you would please tell the people who you are and what you do. You froze a little bit. Can you hear me? Okay, maybe his internet went out. Hopefully he will join us again. Let me welcome a few people who have joined us today. Tim the Tiger, Teacher, Taylor Official, Trey 70, Jesse Ma, Be Right 25. Welcome to Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. I am your host, Rae Lashea, and I urge you to visit my website at www.lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. That's lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. Put your email address in so you can get the free PDF Miracle Makers Roadmap. And you can also check out the books that I've written that are for sale online there. Freddie Billions, welcome. Today's guest is Audate, and he is the CEO, author, motivational speaker. He is, wow, I've learned a lot from him. I took one of his classes for the progression. I was a part of one of the progression teams as well as the brand marketing summit. And so he's coming back. Let's cross our fingers for the internet gods to be with us. Okay, welcome back. If you would please let the people know who you are and what you do.
So Audate, I help people grow their businesses, utilize the support of virtual assistants and implementing a specific marketing strategy. Also, I do the marketing for many small to medium-sized businesses where I run their marketing department.
Now, you host conferences throughout the year, as well as now, of course, virtually online. Do you want to talk about the Brand Marketing Summit, as well as the Progression Conference?
I love both of them. You know, both events with two different learning experiences and overall two different experiences entirely. The Brand Marketing Summit is a 2-day business event where you'll learn, network, and grow with other entrepreneurs, and you learn a specific marketing strategy while utilizing the support of virtual assistants. And then the Progression Conference is a 1-day business event that's typically hosted live, where you learn how to scale your business. So you already have a successful business and you want to scale that business. People go to the Progression Conference.
Now I've sat through, I haven't been to the live event, but I have gone through the online course as well as the progression team, and both of them helped me a great deal. I'm sure you get thank you notes and emails, and what's some of the things people tell you that make you know you are helping them?
Well, we just had a live event, and one of the students who went through the mentorship program came to the live event with a BMW. Why, right after he let go of I don't know what it was, like a Corolla, like a '99 Corolla or a '99 Camry, one of those type of cars, and then he came through with a brand new BMW, and he showed me a stack of a $10,000 stack, and when he joined the brand marketing summit, he had to borrow money and so forth, and then showing $10,000, that's a real game changer. Seeing the videos from little kids of like, thank you for helping my mommy, so on and so forth, like, getting those messages. And those experiences is what really pushes me to keep going with the individual business owner route. In my organization, individual business owner is someone who's making less than $500,000 a year and is starting and growing. When we work with our bigger clients, it's more transactional, right? It's a bigger payoff, but it's more transactional. When I work with the individual business owners, I can really be a part of their growth, and that gives me a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning than just, hey, we'll just do your marketing for you.
And I can attest to the fact that you are really interested in people. You want to see them grow and succeed.
Yeah. I think for me, experiencing a certain level of freedom, and a certain level of financial gain at a young age, recognizing that it did take a lot of trial and error and tribulation and challenges, but once I experienced those type of wins at such a level, I knew that, I thought everyone was experiencing those type of wins, but I realized that not everyone was, and I'm talking about different age ranges where you'll see someone who's in their 80s or 90s that in their lifetime never experienced a certain level of financial win. And I said, damn, like, so this is not something that's common for everyone. This is something that has to be taught, and you got to really go ahead and go, do a deep dive and experience it. So that's what I created a mission for, is helping those individuals experience that level of freedom, experience those wins, so they can take care of the people that's depending on them, financially, emotionally, and so forth.
Is that why you wrote your book, No More Average?
Yeah, my when I talk about like people being, when I talk about people depending on your success, I'm not just talking about the money. I think there's a misconception, but I'm not talking about the money. My father, for example, my life wasn't necessarily always there because he had to go and work. Now, mind you, he did the whole college thing, got the 9-to-5 job at the hospital, doing well in America's point of view. But when I saw the lack of presence that my father had in there when I needed a male figure, I said, man, that's not really where it's at. So, although for those of you who went to college and so forth, if you want to experience a certain level of freedom, you got to, number one, have a business. Number two, have a strategy. And number three, make sure that strategy is proven. And number four, have a team run your business for you.
Because if you're doing it all yourself, you're trading your time for money and you'll never be free.
Yeah, but you also got to ask, like, what else are you losing in place of that? So I'll give you an example. A lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with, many of them are married. And I was just working with an individual who her relationship with her husband was going literally downhill because she has a dream of a business, but she's neglecting her relationship with her husband.
Right.
But with us implementing certain systems and then bringing in virtual team members to run her business, now she's making more income than she was by herself, and she has time for her husband, which is now helping the relationship. So you got to really look at, like, okay, by you running a business ineffectively, what else are you losing? Are you losing a relationship with a special somebody? Are you losing your time with your kids? Are you losing your time with your grandparents or your mom and dad? So you got to really look at like the opportunity cost as well as the cost of the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Let me welcome a few people who've joined us. Terry Chairston, Bella Kay, They Envy, Parlay Brown, Irfin 8663, Ilal Adil, Lori Ruelas. Thank you so much for being with us today. This is Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. I'm your host, Rae Lashea, and I'm here with Andy Audate. You studied under the great Les Brown for motivational speaking. Is that right?
Yeah. So I built a successful business, and there was a time where I have more money than I do experiences, I would say, at that time. And so someone who helped me going through, teenage child, I suppose, basketball practice and so on and so forth. Someone who helped me was Les Brown, some of the words that he shared. And I remember laying down, two things happened to me. Number one, I got involved in church and I learned about God, learned about Christ, learned about faith. And someone came up to me and said, "Hey man, I just got a message for you. I feel like God's telling me you're going to be an orator." And I had no idea what that word meant. So this was just before getting in that relationship with Les Brown. Then I laid down on my bed one day and I made a decision, like, who am I going to become? I made a decision to become a businessman that speaks. So I started working with Les Brown to do that.
And you ended up in Forbes magazine. Wait, we lost you for a
Calls
hot
coming.
second there.
I got phone calls coming in. Say that one more time.
Oh, and you ended up in Forbes magazine.
Yeah. Well, that's how I market. That's one of the streams that we market.
Well, you were actually featured there.
Yeah. If you go to Forbes, I'm a contributor for Forbes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Very good. So you give them business advice, or what do you contribute?
So they asked me to focus on marketing and take specific experiences or what's trending in the marketplace and twist it in a way to give a business lesson. So I'll give you an example. One of the articles that Forbes is currently reviewing of mine is me talking about Kanye West becoming a billionaire and what that does for Black people in America.
Interesting.
And then I switch it where we take that knowledge, but it ends up being a business lesson. The one article I just wrote before that was the GameStop frenzy. I don't know if you're aware, but GameStop was essentially overvalued through Reddit and through that forum where if you had the inside knowledge, you could have invested your money and made a shit ton of money. But how can you take that information or that experience and turn it and use it in your business? So I just wrote an article about that.
And okay, so have you always been a writer?
No. But in high school, I did have more of the knack for writing than I did for math. I don't know if I know in the amount of people that I work with, as far as like seeing their school or educational background. If you're good at writing, you're bad at math. If you're good at math, you're bad at writing. So I was bad at math.
I've seen that.
At writing. So I write books and such. So, but the Forbes thing, man, if you ever like Rae Lashea, we should get you in Forbes. But to write for Forbes is like they have a long rule about like what can't be done, what can be done, and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting. I have many team members who help me with the Forbes, but it's not an easy thing to write for Forbes.
Right. Let me say hello to a few people who have joined us. Top to Crop 3 Productions, Anna Cavelin Reyes, Juan M. Puentes, Rel Bayona. Welcome to Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. I'm here with Andy Audate, who is a contributor to Forbes. He is a motivational speaker. He's a brand marketing guru and trainer, and also an author. How did you decide to write No More Average, and why did you choose that title?
You know, I think I got some books in my house. We have some at the office, but I'm curious. I think we got some in my house. I'll show it.
I've been reading it on Kindle, so I don't have the actual copy because Amazon was going to take too long to get it to me.
What did you start reading?
This weekend, and I know that you deal with the principles, what some people might think of law of attraction or things like that, where you see yourself in the position where you want to be. There they are. I need to get a signed copy from you.
No More Average. Yeah, I got you. You're living in Vegas, so we can meet up and do that. So No More Average, essentially what it's stating is that in order for you, there's 3 levels of lifestyle. Level number 1, which is the lowest, is going to be called subpar, right? So this is, as far as society standard, subpar is you're going to be homeless, you're going to be someone who's financially unstable, lacks relationships, unstable with their time, unstable in all areas of their life. Then you have the average, which is 95%, which is a big gap, right? Subpar, lower 3%. Then you got the 95%, which is mostly everyone, right? Then you have the preeminent stage. And the preeminent essentially is the top 2%. And being average is looking around your social environment and recognizing that subconsciously I am becoming as what I see here. So No More Average essentially says that I'm going to create new averageness by getting into a preeminent circle and becoming of the like. So if you want to be a successful business owner, for example, get around successful business owners.
Right.
I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to get in the right circles, right relationships, and it pays off in dividends. It pays off in dividends. So, like, if you want to create new relationships, if you're looking around your relationships, and you're like, man, this relationship does not serve me, then you got to change your social environment, your social circle, and then their results are typically going to become yours. So what I mean by that, for example, is I had a mentor 8 years ago. I had a mentor, and I paid him for mentorship, right? I paid him a large sum of money and also a cut of my business, a portion of my revenue. And some would say, oh, you got to keep the whole pie, keep it all to yourself, and so on and so forth. But that's what I needed to do to get into that circle. So in my industry at the time, which was the cellular telecommunications, which was cell phones, in my industry, I saw other men or other business owners who've owned their location for 10, 15 years, and they were doing it by themselves. Still, 10 to 15 years in, you walk into their store, it's the owner you're talking to. It's like going into Joe's Burger Shop and seeing Joe there saying, hello, welcome. You know,
right.
Like that's not the top. That's not the freedom that you have. That you want to create. The way you want to create freedom is you want to get around people who are free and start nitpicking at little things, and start learning these little things, and start implementing them in your business or in your life. Now, that's not only for business. When I decided that I wanted to become when I decided that I wanted to lead a woman in a relationship, for example, I had to get around married men. I spent more time around married men than I did single. And then naturally my brain was like, hey, I see how to treat my lady, how to run my business while having a relationship, how being a family man looks like. So it's, for me, I'm at a stage where my business is higher than most, but I'm at a stage of life where I'm still learning the different areas, such as kids and relationship and such.
Everybody's definition and experience of freedom is not going to be the same. How important is it for people to individually define that for themselves?
I think everyone's definition of freedom ultimately comes down to having the same fundamental principles, which is I can do whatever the fuck I want when I want to. So and that's when that's when you're free. So and like without repercussions, right? That's when you're free, without repercussions, because anyone could say, hey, I'm gonna not go to work, and then yeah, you're terminated, right?
Right.
So we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that, because someone on your feed is gonna say, oh, I could do whatever. I'm not gonna go to work tomorrow. Can you hear me?
Right. Yes, I can. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Yeah, so it's about having the ability to do whatever you want whenever you want without repercussions. So it now, like the experience of freedom could be different. Like, hey, somebody's freedom could be I took my kids to Disneyland. Somebody's freedom is I could go vacation for a week. Somebody's freedom is like mine. When I was in LA, I decided to move at the top of the dime. So literally Monday, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sign a long-term lease. And then by Friday, I'm like, hey, I'm moving to Las Vegas, and we already chose a spot. So that's what freedom looks like to me. Everyone is different. You're 100% right as far as like what the experience is, but I think the fundamental principle is going to be nearly equivalent, where I could do whatever I want without repercussions.
Where can people obtain your book, No More Average?
You can go to nomoreaveragebook.com. That's nomoreaveragebook.com.
Let me put that in, nomoreaveragebook.com. And then also, how can people sign up to either attend a conference or go through one of your brand marketing summits?
Go to if you're in a place where you have a business, you want to start a business, or you have a business already, you want to start a business, and you're looking to scale. You're tired, you're overworked, you're pulling 90-hour weeks, and so on and so forth, and you're struggling to make ends meet in the direction that you want to in your business. Go to joinbms.com. That is joinbms.com. We have a 2-day event called the Brand Marketing Summit, and over the course of 2 days, I break down step by step how to number one, get a virtual assistant to run your business for you, right? So you're working with your virtual assistant right now, Rae?
I have a virtual assistant. Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah, so we teach you how to utilize your virtual assistants, and number two, how to market your business to get leads and constant pipeline being filled, where you're constantly getting clients coming in. So if that interests you and you're in a place where you're like, hey man, I need to scale, I need to grow, I need to experience that freedom, go to joinbms.com. Once again, that's joinbms.com. BMS stands for Brand Marketing Summit, which is that 2-day event where I break down the whole entire system from start to finish on how to get leads, how to have your virtual assistants run your business. Once again, that's joinbms.com.
And I have put it in the feed there. Let's just say hello to some people who have joined us today. I am NB21, Ismail Ziani, Conchi Romero Modelo. I hope I didn't mess that up. Welcome. Felicia Marie Motivates, Clarky the Lady, and Jal Hashemi. Welcome to Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea. I'm your host, Rae Lashea. I'm here with Andy Audate. He is talking about his journey as a motivational speaker and a brand marketing. I call you a guru because you are like at the top telling people how to, maneuver their business in order for it to make it work for them, as opposed to them making it working for it.
Yeah.
What would you title yourself?
A brand marketing expert.
Brand marketing expert. Okay. I just made you a guru.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please visit me at lessproblemsmoremiracles.com. Put your email address in there so you can get your free PDF Miracle Makers Roadmap that I actually created when I was in the progression marketing team with you. And one thing that I really enjoy about the way you work with people is that you don't hold back. You give of yourself, you give of your knowledge, and you're a problem solver. I'm scratching my head saying, what can I do to get people to do this or that? And you're like, oh, just create a PDF for them, make it free. I'm like, genius.
Yeah.
Do those ideas and solutions just come to you like that, or is it how do you cultivate building that skill?
No, trial and error. Trial and error. So it's a bunch of trial and error. So like I'll tell you, like right now, for example, what I'm testing out right now is efficiency when virtual assistants are part time. Right. So we have softwares. We have softwares with all of our virtual assistants that are tracking activity, tracking mouse clicks, keypad strokes, the whole 9 yards. And what I found most recently is that I see that there's a lot of for team members who work part time, right, who work 4 hours a day, their activity per hour is higher than their activity per for full time. So in business, right, the idea or the concept is like when I have employees that everyone works 40 hours. But the question is if I have one person working 40 hours, right, and that 40 hours as a business owner, am I getting the best output per hour over the course of that 40 hours, or is the output increased if I give them less time?
Right.
So I'm testing that now, and then so that's why I say through trial and error. So a lot of the things I teach now have been perfected. I'm already it's already perfected. So like what I just told you right now, once I come up with the consensus of it all, maybe in 2 years I'll start sharing about the benefits of part-time team members versus full-time. But right now I'm still in the trial phase of it all.
And what people don't realize is when you pay a mentor or an expert, you are paying for the trial and error time and hours and blood, sweat, and tears that they put in, so that your learning curve is cut way shorter and you can achieve your success or the success that they've achieved in a whole lot shorter time.
Yeah, and you don't have to create so much losses. Like there's a certain amount of loss that I can handle, right? Where we talk about financially, right? Than someone else. So like when I got my mentor, and he worked with me, he was able to create a much more loss than what I was able to at that time, right? At that time, I think I only had like $7,000 in the bank, or 10,000, something of that nature. And his business today his business is doing about $30 million a year. He has 150 locations. He stayed in the industry. Now he's transitioning into another industry because of where the cell phone industry is going. So he opened up another business. But I saw that way ahead. I saw that, hey man, this business of brick and mortar is not gonna last long. We got to get on the online space at some point, right? You got to get on the online space and you got to dominate online. I decided to jump in earlier than he did. So now the roles has changed. We had dinner and he's like, hey man, put me on this game online. Like, tell me about this online space. So his business is doing 30 million, but that doesn't necessarily mean things are doing well in a different sector. So online is a different beast than retail. But get a mentor, get somebody who can push you along further. That's always been my strategy. I'm not like the person that's like, oh, let me bang my head against the wall to see if it breaks. I'm more of the man who already has the open door, right? It's create more contact. That's what your objective is, to create more contacts, create more relationships. And many times you got to pay. You got to pay in one of the 5 currencies. You got to pay in energy. You got to pay in relationships, where you got to introduce somebody to introduce somebody. You got to pay, like, for example, one of my late great mentors, he passed away last year, but for me to get into that circle with him, there was no amount of money that I could have paid to get in that circle, right? The dude's loaded, man. You go to his house, he has a fleet of cars that are some big numbers. So there's no amount of money I could pay him to get him. The only thing that he has interested was me becoming a franchise of his. So me essentially growing his business. But so money wasn't a factor, but he wanted to meet Les Brown.
Uh-huh.
He said, man, I love Les. So I called Les and I put him on the phone. And then now that gave me access to the circle and relationships. So you got to pay one of the 5 currencies. Number 1, relationships. That's an example of relationships. And he obviously got the most common, but the least warranted, the least wanted, which is money. Then you have energy. So you have energy, money, relationships. Then you have barter, which is the exchange of a product for a product, or a service for a service, or a service for a product. And the last one is knowledge. So you got to pay to some type of investment in order to get to that next level, and it's not going to come free.
Right. Burnett Carone, welcome. Guerrero Rodriguez, welcome. Misana Cass, welcome. Andy, thank you so much for being here. If you can leave the people with one word of advice or a piece of wisdom, what would you tell them?
Take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime. So take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime. That means that we understand that each opportunity has a window. Take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime in the window of that opportunity. Opportunities will pass you by. Take advantage of each one and not be out. So be sure to go to nomoreaveragebooks.com. What I want to do is give you this book. I have this book as well as a training on how to utilize virtual assistants to run your business. The whole total, the training by itself is $197. Okay, plus this book is $30. So we're at nearly $230. I'll give you the whole entire thing for $4.95. Go to nomoreaveragebooks.com. I'll give you this book, the PDF version, as well as the audio book that is attached to this, plus a training that's worth $200. I'll give you that whole entire deal for $4.95. Go to nomoreaveragebooks.com. And what you're going to learn in this book, number one, you're going to learn how to take control of your mindset. If you're in a place where you're challenging with your mindset, you feel like you're not in 100% control, this book will break down that process. Also, number two, you're going to learn about overcoming fear and understanding that fear is a direction. And then number three, how to get mentors, how to get people in your circle. And number four, how to change your social environment. All of this in this jam-packed book. Go to nomoreaveragebooks.com. I'll give it to you for $4.95.
Look at that. Just for joining us today on Miracle Mondays with Rae Lashea, you're getting a training and a book, almost $230 worth of value for under $5. Nomoreaveragebooks.com. It's pinned there. Visit that website. Also, joinbms.com if you have a business that you want to scale to higher levels. Andy, I am so happy that you joined us today. You are amazing in your field. You are a wonderful person. You've helped me in my business. I thank you so much. And I look forward to doing more things with you and your team. And to everyone out there, thank you for joining us. I'm here next week again, every Monday.
I love your consistency on this. I love your consistency on what you created here. You're very consistent with doing this deal.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy talking with people and learning so much, but also getting the information out to others who are interested. And it's a great group who joins us each week. It changes a bit. Some are stable audience members. So thank you. And until next week, have a miraculous day.
You as well. Thank you, Rae. Bye for now.
Thanks. Bye.